Thank you, Council President and colleagues. On January 7th of this year, we all thought it would be a day like any other at the start of a new year. Little did we know that life was about to change dramatically, especially for the residents of the Pacific Palisades. What began as a small brush fire quickly exploded, fueled by dry vegetation and unprecedented wind conditions. Within hours, the fire was raging like nothing we have ever seen in Los Angeles. The entire community was overwhelmed. Homes were completely devoured by flames, even as our firefighters fought bravely to protect lives and property. In the end, 12 people died, 6,837 structures were destroyed, including more than 5,400 homes, 135 multifamily buildings, and 160 commercial properties. Another 1,000 structures were damaged, and the scale of the devastation is staggering. At that moment, it was hard to imagine how we would even begin to recover. But then came the United States Army Corps of Engineers, led by Colonel Eric Swenson. The Corps arrived in the Palisades in early February. Debris removal began on Tuesday, February 11th. By February 15th, the first property was cleared, and we never looked back. Thanks to Colonel Swenson's outstanding leadership, the Corps is carrying out the fastest, safest, and most community-integrated debris removal operations in California history, simultaneously with the Eaton fire cleanup in Altadena. Colonel Swenson and his team have cleared thousands of sites, setting a new standard for responsiveness, transparency, and trust. But what really sets Colonel Swenson apart, what earned him the love and respect of so many in the Palisades, wasn't just how fast he got the work done. It was how he showed up. Colonel Swenson met personally with residents who had just lost everything. He stood on their burned properties and he listened. He answered questions, he returned calls, he made himself available. His commitment to being at every community meeting, town hall, or Q&A session, large or small, has been a masterclass in leadership through crisis. Everywhere I went in those first few awful days and weeks, Colonel Swenson was there. Every briefing, every press conference, every community meeting. His mere presence in the room offered assurance. Colonel Swenson took my frantic calls at all times of day and night. He heard my concerns and then helped me lead our community through it all. From fights over household hazardous materials to haul routes to traffic on Sunset and PCH, Colonel Swenson stood with us through it all. He never minded my endless to-do list. Please do this first, also do this first, and also these 10 other things that I need you to do first. He was a great sport through it all, lifting us up in the hardest days of our lives. Colonel Swenson, you've been a steady voice in a sea of uncertainty and a source of strength and assurance when we needed it most. You didn't lead from behind a desk. You led from the front lines, side by side with our community. And that's why we're here today, alongside members of the Palisades community, to thank you, Colonel Swenson, for your tireless efforts in leading the debris removal and recovery operations. Colonel Swenson, your work has not only helped us clean up what was lost, it's helped us rebuild what was broken. And for that, on behalf of the Pacific Palisades and a grateful city, I offer you our deepest thanks. We have a video that we'd like to share as we look back to where we were and where we are. Colonel Swenson. It's hard and profoundly moving to look back and to be reminded of what happened and the fact that you came into our life in the worst days of it. We are so incredibly grateful to you, the community of the Pacific Palisades and the Council District 11 and the City of Los Angeles, that we've actually arranged another surprise for you as a way to say thank you for everything that you've done. We have one more very special video for Colonel Swenson.
Hello. I want to personally say thank you to Colonel Eric Swenson for your outstanding leadership in the wake of the Palisades fire. This fire scorched over 1,000 acres, forced hundreds of families to evacuate, and caused widespread damage. In a time of uncertainty and fear, you and your team brought hope to the Palisades community. Your team cleared debris, repaired infrastructure, and restored essential services. But that's exactly what you trained for. What really set you apart is the trust you built with the community. As you said, you could only move at the speed of trust, and the remarkable progress you and your team made demonstrates the trust you earned. You focused on the people as much as the project, using compassion and empathy to build real relationship. Your approach says so much about the kind of person and leader you are. Our Corps of Engineers are often the first to engage devastated, recovering communities, and we need compassionate leaders like you. So thank you, Colonel Swenson. I wish you and your family all the best as you move to command the North Atlantic Division.
I couldn't have said it better than the Secretary himself. Colonel Swenson, if you'd like to say a few words, we'd be honored.
Thank you, Councilwoman. For those of you who know me, you know I'm not usually short on words, and I gravitate towards the mic. I'm honored to be here today. I'm honored to be here in this community for the past going on 5 months, 5.5 months. I'll miss LA. You've been through a lot, but the future is bright, and I hope to come back soon and watch the phoenix rise from the ashes. Thank you.
Councilmember Park, before the big finish, we have a handful of members on the queue that would like to say a few words, beginning with Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you, Councilmember Park, for bringing in Colonel Swenson. And I have to imagine, in your career, the amount of devastation that you've helped so many communities recover from has got to be immense. But as the Secretary says, it's what you train for. And it's really an embodiment of what so many incredible civil servants do in dedication in their career paths to help our communities. And so often, you know, when the cheap politics and the words come out about who government is, you are the embodiment of exactly who our dedicated civil servants are. They support us in the midst of these emergencies and these crises, whether they're on the front lines in the firefight, and they're there in the recovery, whether it's from the Army Corps of Engineers, and it's at all levels of government. It's with our Bureau of Engineering, it's with our street services, all of our incredible dedicated civil servants. So I want to say thank you so much for dedicating your life's work and career to being a servant to the people. And thank you for all of, I know what a tremendous burden that is on your heart to have to be there and exhibit such incredible strength and focus to perfecting your work, to being the exemplary leader that helps to lead an entire group of people who have, of course, 1,000 different opinions about the way it should go. But thank you for dedicating your life's work to our country in this manner of service, because you do help to accelerate the rebuild and for all of those phoenixes that rise from the ashes. LA is just going to be the latest version of that. But thank you so much for your incredible work and service here in Los Angeles. We are deeply, deeply grateful. Thank you.
Councilmember Padilla.
Colonel, I also just kind of want to thank you. I think you have truly become the face of productive access and friendly access on behalf of our federal partners. I want to specifically thank you for showing up to the town hall that we had at Sun Valley, at Poly. You witnessed how many questions my region had related to what our role was on behalf of the cleanup. And there was a lot of tension and there was a lot of questions, but we appreciate that you came with the answers, really led the conversation on behalf of all of the departments and how it works in collaboration. And it really helped to tone down what people were feeling. You were really the one that gave us all of the contact information for everyone. We've consistently been sharing it on our newsletter, and I can't tell you how much the community appreciated that. So thank you. We're gonna remember you because I don't think I've ever really been able to put a face to anyone on behalf of the Army Corps of Engineers, but you really made your mark. So congratulations, thank you, we really appreciate it. We need more people that get things done the way you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilwoman Tracy Park, for bringing in the Colonel. Colonel, thank you so much for all the work you've done to rebuild not only the city, but particularly these zip codes. That means so much to our city. We are going through different types of crises, and to see you here and your folks that you brought here to help us, to uplift us, to protect us is very reassuring. And I am grateful that you were able to serve here in this city when there are many things happening all across the country, but my deepest gratitude to you, to your team, to your family for letting you be here with us to rebuild the city. And thank you for giving us such a beautiful image of a phoenix rising from the ashes. I think now more than ever, we need to be inspired. And so I'm just glad that it's coming from a leader like you. So thank you so much. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilmember Hutt.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilwoman Park. As you know, the Palisades is deeply personal. My son went to middle school there. My niece went to high school at Palisades. And to know that this was in your hands and that you made a difference and that you made people in the Palisades and the city feel confident that we could get this done really proves your leadership. We appreciate your service. We appreciate that you signed up for this to be your career, and we are excited about what the future looks like because of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Councilmember Park, for bringing this presentation, and thank you, Colonel, for bringing the might of the U.S. government to our city, to this neighborhood, and getting this work done in record time, which we're going to keep screaming it until somebody pays attention. But it is a great story. It is good news in the city of Los Angeles, and you've been at the forefront of that. So thank you, Colonel. Councilmember Park.
Thank you, Council President and colleagues. Colonel Swenson, on behalf of the mayor and the entire city council and a very grateful city of Los Angeles, we wanted to take a moment to acknowledge and thank you for your incredible work and service to our city and our community. Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you so much. Another big round of applause for the Colonel. All right, for the record and for the public, Special 1 has been introduced. The findings are in the motion, and the motion is posted on the bulletin board for all those who are interested in it.